So this video is to introduce users, teachers, students to Edmentum's English language course. And in this course, we're using two different language teaching paradigms. One is the CEFR, the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. The second one here is the CLIL, or CLIL. This is Content and Language Integrated Learning. So first of all, what's the difference between them and how do they work together? So CEFR basically is taken from Cambridge University's research, and it's a reference for what to teach, when to teach it, and for how long to teach it in an effective English language program. So we're leaning on the University of Cambridge research for this and the Common European Framework of Reference for Language. And this is for the pure language lessons. These are pure language only. Okay, on the other end of the spectrum, we have the Content and Language Integrated Learning, or the CLIL. And in this paradigm, students learn across different academic subjects. They learn language in different academic subjects, which provides a richer and more meaningful context for language students. So the question we'd like to answer is, how have we put these two systems together? And there's basically four steps. One, the first step is books. There are CEFR books. It's just a lesson out of a book. When the lesson from the book is done, we go into the online lesson. This goes together with the book. They're tightly aligned to the CEFR books, these lessons. At that point, we're finished with the CEFR. The CEFR is done. And we're moving now into the CLIL side. And they're still associated. The CLIL is still associated with the CEFR, but now we're moving into the academic content based on Education City, which is Edmentum's premier elementary content program. Now over into the CLIL now, we're going to do an online lesson first, an online pre-lesson. This is a pre-lesson to more carefully prepare the students for the academics that they're going to encounter in the Education City website and that platform. But we need to prepare the students for the academics because the language is at a higher level. Another view of this, the way these two programs integrate, if we look at this document here at the top is the CLIL as it relates to each grade in the public school system. So the CLIL would be, first grade, second grade, third grade, like that. Now down here is the CEFR, where we've taken the Cambridge levels. Edmentum's books are the Runway series, which corresponds to the Starters level, Cambridge Starters level, the Liftoff series, which corresponds to the Movers level. And if we just look at Starters, which is the Runway series, Edmentum's Runway series, notice how this corresponds to the first and second grade of the public school content. So this is the content integrated component here. So in this case, there's 18 months of content, 200 hours in classroom content. So that would mean we have 18 months, so it's one book per month. There's 18 books, 10 units per book, so there's 180 units in this series, a 1.5-year series. And it's tightly aligned with the academic content from these two grades, grades 1 and 2. So just from 30,000 feet, that's really how the program fits together. If we go back to this view again, what we're doing is we're just starting here, doing the book work, and let me show you those books briefly. So here's a bird's eye view of a book. Right here in this vertical column right here, this would be 5 pages of one lesson. So one lesson is 5 pages. And once we're done with that, we move to lesson 2. This is lesson 2 right here. And this is over here is lesson 10. So there's 10 lessons in a book, 18 books, 180 lessons. Going back to this viewpoint, in one series, we're going to have 180 lessons. And each one of these lessons is going to have step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4. Each lesson is going to have all of these steps, 180 lessons. And that gets through one CEFR level. And that's how the program is structured. If I show you the learning environment online, students begin in this MindPocket website, which is the Education City sister site for the language program. From the home page here, we can access the Runway series or the Liftoff series, which is the second level. But let's just look at Runway series 1. You go in here, and here are all the lessons from the book, right? 10 lessons from this book. and we can drill into any lesson. Let's go to lesson 4. This is the lesson environment. In this window here, there's different assets. There's a game, and then, like I said earlier, this is the actual 5 pages from the book. For schools or for users that don't want to use the book, we can just print the lesson from here. And then here are the teacher lesson plans. Right? So it goes through all the lesson plans. It's right here for the teacher or the student to see. So that's this area up here. We call it the asset window. Right beside the asset window are the exercise questions. If I'm a student, I might want to look and get some help over here. So we have this asset window right next to the exercise window. So if the student needs assistance to help him answer the exercises, well, right there is that assistance for them. However, we can also expand this window. So I can hit this expanded view. The asset pane opens up, and the students really actually like to use the game in the expanded view. But in this case, if we're in the expanded view, the exercise questions just move to the bottom. And of course, we have different types of questions in here. We have both an expanded view and a compact view that we can work from. That's step 2, right? If we go back to here, the student flow, the student has, number 1, finished the book work, those 5 pages. Number 2, they come into the online lessons, they do the games and those exercises, questions. Underneath the asset window is also some other assets. So here's a listening option here. Bird. The teachers or the students can use that to practice. Here's practice talking. So this has a little bit of AI into it, where if I say, if I click this button, then it turns on the microphone. Dogs.
Dogs don't like cats.
And if the program recognizes the word, if my accent is okay, right, it'll respond, and then I know I'm ready to actually record my voice over here.
Dogs.
So this is a sample, and then the student would click this record button and stop button to record their voice. And in that case, the voice recording is going to show up over here so that parents and teachers and students, they could listen to their voice recording from here at any time. That pretty much finishes the CEFR part. All right, so you can see that up here. The CEFR part includes all of that up here, and then this material here is all CEFR area. Down here starts the CLIL. These are links to the CLIL. So you actually never really have to go outside of the MindPocket environment. This is step 2. Now step 3 then, what was step 3? Well, we're done with the CEFR, right? So we're actually moving now into step 3, which is the CLIL bridge lessons. Now this is a pre-lesson for the CLIL. So from MindPocket then, if we look at that again, right down here we have this CLIL lesson is going to be called Scrumptious. And here's a link. So what happens when I click this link? I go to, this is where we bridge over into the CLIL. Here we've got this lesson designation as Education City pre-lesson. This is the CLIL pre-lesson, step 3. And it looks quite familiar, right? I mean, it has all the same elements in it. It has a game. It has a
dog.
There's a dog. It has the exercises. You can do the expanded view up here, and then it also has the speaking practice, and then it has the sound recording. This is maybe a 15-minute lesson for the student. And once it's done, we go to that last step, which is directly now into accredited academic content, Education City itself, that platform. Now it is a different platform than the language platform, and that's for a reason. Let me just click over here and we'll go into it. Education City records the students' scores in the academic side, and MindPocket records the students' performance in the language side.
Can you hear that sound? Someone is coming for dinner. But who?
Now, another thing about Education City content is they're going to often have more than one asset. From the Education City pre-lesson page, down in this area, we're going to have all the assets in here. It can be up to 3 assets. So here's a PDF that is also useful in the class. All right, so that's the 4 steps. So let me just go back to the student flow. We'll review this one more time. It's pretty simple. You do the books. You can do those right from MindPocket or from the book. Then the Mind Pocket pre-lesson. Then second is the online lesson that coordinates with the CEFR books. And then we're done with the CEFR. Third, we just click the link and move right into this next paradigm. And this is the CLIL pre-lesson, the online pre-lesson for the Education City unit. Once that's done, then simply move into the Education City website itself and take that step for the pure academic lesson. And so there it is, both programs as they work together.